Hey, what's good, DCUO? Long time no see. It's your boy Force Destroyer. No, I'm not dead. I am back. That's right, I'm back. Today I want to go over a topic since I've been back for a couple of weeks now. I've been gone for a few months. First I want to say thank you to the subscribers and the DCUO players in the community that's welcoming me back and sending me tells and mails and everything like that. I really appreciate you guys. I want to talk about today about this bias that I've noticed since I've been back against healers and PvP. It's always been such of a specific. It's always been like of a role, some kind of a role bias in DCUO. It's been in PvE and PvP, but people can put up with it in PvE because you need those roles for raids. But in PvP, there's a stigma towards healers and tanks. Me being a healer for several years, since I've been a DCUO nerd playing this game since like late 2011. I've played all of the roles. My main role is a healer. I want to touch on that healer bias or that stigma, in PvP. Word on the street is healers are OP. It's a new thing. Healers are OP. That's what people are saying. That's what a lot of people believe. In my opinion, no, they're not. I'm showing you guys some examples backing up my claim. You can see in these videos right here, you see these guys how they're melting me in DPS role right now. But then I'm going to show you some other examples in arenas and other duels and whatnot, how I can dominate, but how I'm still beatable. This doesn't go for just me, it goes for all healers and skilled healers and PvPers alike. Let me list the pros and the cons with all of the roles, and if you utilize these pros, then you can maybe have an advantage or a step up over your opponent. And then because you have the knowledge on how to utilize your role and the pros to that role more effectively, then you won't be shouting out nonsense like healers are OP, because a lot of people are complaining about them now. But a lot of people have been playing this game for a long time will also say that nobody was saying this a year or two ago when healers were getting two-shotted and everything, when DPS could one-shot and two-shot, and then they make the game a little bit more balanced out, and because a healer has a fighting chance now, they're OP. I mean, that seems a little bit biased, doesn't it? So in this example, this is a DPS. He's melting me in open world PvP. Look at the amount of damage that is. That is insane. Okay? And that's with rage. Imagine if that was hard light or mental or ice. Like, they melt even faster. Okay? And especially if they were fully geared, all precisioning, it's insane. Celestial DPS too. He's going to do it again. Again, watch how fast he can burn. And this isn't somebody with 200. No, not knocking Legacy Love. That's my dude. He's an ex-league mate of mine. But watch how fast DPS can burn. So almost a 7K crit right there. Let's see. He's trying to get some big crits off. Okay, and those are too many ticks, so I can't really count those. I'm going to show you guys another example in some other videos with ice and mental hard. They can hit ice, mental, and celestial DPS. They can hit hard. Here's what people have to realize. All roles have certain advantages that will give them a leg up over other roles. You have to utilize those advantages to your, utilize those role advantages to your advantage. Okay, you have to strategize. You have to know your role. Okay, as a DPS, you have more precision and might that you can spec into over everybody else. You can do more damage. Your role is to do more damage. Okay, as a healer, we're sort of hard to beat because there's no role specific gear, but we still can compete with you guys in damage. So the way we contemplate or compensate for our lack of damage, we make that up in heals. Now you can watch and see how less damage that he does to me inside of arenas than he does in open world. Okay, in open world, there's no cap on PvP stats. There's no cap. All of your generator mods, league buffs, everyth's in effect. In PvP arenas, there's stat caps on certain stats, mainly the primary stats for all of the roles, DPS, tanks, trolls, healers included. These stats that are capped are health, dominance, visualization, restoration, precision, and might. These stats have caps on them in PvP arenas that you won't notice in open world. So the playing field's a little bit different inside of arenas. Okay? In open world, a DPS in PvP gear can 2-shot and 3-shot a healer. But a healer in arenas, you can't do that to them because you have, caps on your stats. So people that are saying, healers are overpowered, they'll beat you in a duel, but then when it comes to, a scrim or 1v1 or whatever, and they complain and dip out, no, it's not that, you're overpowered. It's just that their stats have a cap on it, just like you have a cap. I think the restoration cap is just over 8k. So because of those caps, it allows, makes the playing field a little more even, which is essentially fixing PvP in the long run. They just need to bring back role-specific gear. And if they bring back role-specific gear, then we will see PvP return to its glory days if they bring out that with a new PvP season featuring new maps and new gear styles and feats and stuff like that. But as you can see, I'm able to come into arenas. You can dominate or whatnot. It's basically putting healers back on the map and other support roles back on the map. But are we OP? No. Basically, I'm just using my role's advantage to my advantage. Okay? Healers that beat you in arenas, DPS, I know it's going to be a shot at your pride, but you have to think about this. You have to check yourself. It's not because they do more damage out than you. A healer will never outdo you in damage if you know what you're doing and you're modded correctly as a DPS. Just have to watch your counters. We're not beating you guys because we're doing insane amounts of healing out. Let me put something into perspective for you. In PvE gear, you can have 28,000 HP, 26, 28,000, somewhere around there. But you also have 16, 17, even 18k resto to go with that. Also, your healing powers have an additional 65% restoration bonus with them added onto that. Now, likewise in PvP, if you're a healer, PvP gear, you're going to have 28 to 30,000 health. Almost 30,000 HP most people have on average with full Vengeful Surgeon gear. But you can only cap at 8,000 resto in PvP arenas. That's terrible. Not to mention there's another nerf that your powers only have a 25% restoration bonus while in healer role versus the 65% you have in PvE. So it's not that heals are able to do outsane healing out in order to beat you. It's that they're able to do almost as much damage as you can because of the gear. We all have DPS stats, we all have healing stats, we all have troll stats, we all have tank stats. That's the reason why it sort of seems a little like, you say, well, this healer is able to do a decent amount of damage or whatnot, but they will never outdamage you. But healers should not be able to do the amount of damage that they can do now. But the reason why I still say that they're not OP is because their damage does not measure up to that of a DPS's damage out. As a DPS, you can still melt through a healer's healing and restoration. You just have to be skilled enough to work on your counters. Also, if you're going to say healer's OP, then you can't be biased and ignore these other powers such as Celestial, Hard Light, Ice, and Mental's DPS role. Because those powers in DPS can stun and they can do so much damage while they're also stunning you. As soon as you break out of one stun, you fall right into the next one. So for DPS complaining and being biased about healers being OP, it's kind of biased. You have to look at this objective. It's like, yeah, healers are able to do too much damage to be a healer right now because of the role, non-role specific gear. But also, you as a DPS can still 2-shot and 3-shot too. So that complaint is sort of invalid to me. When people go up against a good healer or an experienced healer, we're not OP. We're just an experienced player. We're just timing our block breaks and lunges and blocks and, and timing our combos and weapon mastery usage so we can combo and beat you guys at the rock, paper, scissors method or system in this game, via lunges and block breaks and whatnot. Basically, it's just timing. It's not that healers are OP. It's just that if you get beat by a healer, it's not because they're a healer or whatnot. It's because of their timing and them utilizing their role better than you are. Also, there's another secret that I'm not gonna put out here. There's a lot of stats that are capped. There are a few stats that aren't capped. If you guys figure out what those are, you guys can exploit those to have a leg up on your opponent. I'm not gonna say no more than that. But so yes, no, I don't think healers are OP because I've fought many good DPS, a lot of DPS that, me playing the game for a long time and being in the community for a long time on both the PvE and PvP side, hosting PvP tournaments. Well, with the Death Angels on the villain side, I know a lot of good PvPers. There's a lot of PvP DPS that can wash the floor with me, yo. Like, it's crazy. At the same time, 99% of the players that I run into, I can beat them. But there's some elite players that I can run into, and I can tell you right now, this guy would wreck me 7, 8 times out of 10 easily, So that's why you can't say healers are OP when you run into an experienced healer. I've been healing for a long time, so when people say that to me, it's kind of a slap in the face. An experienced player who is skilled and know what they're doing and have been in the role for years, you can't say that to them. Okay, it's for noobs switching to the power. Even if they beat you, then you need to check your own skill. I'm sorry, PvPers, but you have to take some of this onto yourself. You can't just say that heals are OP because healers have a fighting chance now. You still have the ability to wreck a healer if you're good at your role and you know your power and your counter mechanics on PvP at this game. So another example right here, I'm whooping this dude. Then they give up. They start talking trash in versus chat, whatnot. I literally had people give up, going versus chat. Oh, you're trash. You're a healer. You're a healer. Go DPS. Go DPS. People, stop complaining. It's a game. Play it. Have fun. Don't challenge people to duels or to scrimmages, or don't queue up 1v1s or whatnot. If you're afraid of a healer and you're just going to give up or quit or start trash talking, I think this guy right here just ran away from me. I've did arenas where people have literally, oh, you're a trash healer, and then they fly out the arena or whatever. It's like, come on. People is doing the same thing with fire tanks and whatnot. I've showed videos on some of my previous videos. You can go back and check how you can still beat a fire tank. I beat fire tanks, atomic tanks in arenas. It's nothing. Know your role, play the game, use your advantages to help you get the leg up over your opponent, and that's what you gotta do. Another tip is slow down. A lot of people play this game and they just mash buttons too quick, and and you're mashing the same buttons and your pattern. People recognize that. They know when to block. They know when to hold triangle. When you're fighting, just slow down. Just slow down. Have confidence in yourself. And try to think and, try to foresee your opponent's next move, okay? So are healers OP? No. DPS are still the supreme race in DPSUO. But I just have to put my 2 cents in on that. Thank you guys for watching the video. Like and subscribe for more.